As you say, so fine. What about the venous drainage of upper limb? If you talk about the venous drainage upper limb, let us use this diagram. What is this about? The venous drainage upper limb, it will be going into the axillary vein, into the subclavian vein, and subclavian vein will join the internal jugular vein, so that together they can form the brachiocephalic vein, and brachiocephalic vein of the right and left side will join, so that together they can form the superior vena cava. This we have discussed earlier as well. So you are telling head and neck drain into internal jugular vein? Yes, head and neck drain into internal jugular vein. And the upper limb drain into subclavian vein? Yes, upper limb drain into subclavian vein. And then they join to form brachiocephalic vein. Yes, they join to form brachiocephalic vein. And brachiocephalic vein of the right side will join with the left brachiocephalic vein, and together they'll form the superior vena cava. And superior vena cava will drain into the right atrium. This is the basics. Now, if you say that are the basics, then what about the venous drainage of upper limb? You see here, magnified, then you see. You will find that there are some veins which are running at the roof of anatomical snub box with a radius bone, and it is called cephalic vein. It is superficial vein. The deeper veins are different. Then who is the superficial vein at the base of the forearm? The superficial vein which is the base of the forearm is called basilic vein, and this basilic vein which is at the base of the forearm will then receive a contribution from the cephalic vein. That contribution from cephalic vein is actually running at the roof of anatomical snub box, and you call it as median cubital vein. So medial cubital vein drain the lateral cephalic vein towards the medial basilic vein, but not entirely, because the blood of cephalic vein, some of it will go into basilic vein and some of it will continue upwards. So as the cephalic vein is shedding some blood into the basilic vein by median cubital vein and continuing upward, it will then drain into axillary vein. But when the cephalic vein drain into axillary vein, it would have punctured the clavipectoral fascia below the clavicle. So below the clavicle you have clavipectoral fascia punctured by cephalic vein to enter the axillary vein in the axilla. So the fascia will be somewhere here. Yes, it is somewhere here, the clavipectoral fascia, and the cephalic vein has to puncture that clavipectoral fascia to enter the axillary vein in the axilla. And where is this median cubital vein? Median cubital vein is the roof of the cubital fossa. It is at the roof of cubital fossa. These are all three superficial vein. Who are the three superficial vein? They are the medial cubital vein and the cephalic vein and the basilic vein. And basilic vein will continue as the axillary vein. So basilic vein is continuing as the axillary vein. Yes, and axillary vein then continue as the subclavian vein. So this is the diagram which we are supposed to draw. Let's draw the diagram. You are telling there's a dorsal venous arch on the dorsal side of the hand. So on the dorsal side of the hand you have dorsal venous arch. Yes, and then it is draining into superficial veins. Let's say superficial vein. Who is the superficial vein at the roof of anatomical snub box? At the roof of anatomical snub box, the superficial vein is cephalic vein. And where is the cephalic vein running? Cephalic vein is running on the lateral side with the radius bone. So it is on the radial side or the lateral side of the upper limb. And what is it doing? Where is it draining? That we will find out where it is draining. But remember that medially the dorsal venous arch will continue as the basilic vein. If you say this medially, dorsal venous arch is continuing as the basilic vein. I think basilic vein is a superficial vein, and then it will drain into axillary vein. Yes, that will be draining into the axillary vein. And as you see, this is the basilic vein which will drain into the axillary vein, called so because it is in the axilla. That is the axillary vein which is in the axilla. But how the axillary vein was formed? It is a deeper vein. Yes, axillary vein is a deeper vein. It is formed by some more deeper veins. So what are some more deeper veins? Actually, axillary vein is a continuation of the brachial vein. And what is brachial vein continuation of? Actually, brachial vein will form the radial vein and the ulnar vein. So there is some radial vein and ulnar vein, the deeper veins. Yes, actually there are two type of veins. One is deeper, one is superficial. So who is deeper? Actually, radial vein with a radius bone, ulnar vein with ulnar bone, and these are deeper veins to form a deeper vein which is called brachial vein, continuing as the axillary vein. So this is deeper venous system. Yes, that is deeper. So superficial are dorsal venous arch forming the basilic vein or the cephalic vein. The cephalic vein will enter the axillary vein after piercing clavipectoral fascia. So after piercing the clavipectoral fascia, the cephalic vein, which is at the roof of anatomical stump box, turning with the radius bone, is puncturing the clavipectoral fascia to enter the axillary vein in the axilla. Yes. And what the axillary vein continue as? Axillary vein will continue as a subclavian vein in the neck region under the clavicle bone. Then what is this communication of the cephalic vein with the basilic vein? If you say communication of the cephalic vein with the basilic vein, then it is called median cubital vein, and that median cubital vein is quite a common vein to take the blood sample or inject the blood transfusion. Inject the blood in blood transfusion or take a blood sample from there. It is quite easily accessible at the front of the elbow joint, and it is called median cubital vein, and it is draining some blood of the cephalic vein towards the brachial vein. Basically, it is towards the basilic vein and then towards the brachial vein and ultimately towards the axillary vein. So this is what we wanted to know about the veins. Yes, veins, venous drainage of the hand, forearm, arm.